What if I told you I've watched thousands of people fall in love right through a screen, and not one of them ever knew I was watching? Every single day, people scroll past me without blinking. They don't see me as anything special, just another car page, just another business account. But I see them. I see the woman who taps on a sedan photo at 11 p.m., then closes the app, then opens it again. I see the man who types half a message in my DMs, then deletes it before sending. I see the dreams they haven't said out loud yet. And I carry all of it, quietly, behind a little blue notification dot. Let me take you back to the beginning. It was a Tuesday. Not a glamorous Tuesday. Not a Monday with big energy new week vibes. Just a regular, unremarkable Tuesday when someone at the dealership decided we need a social media account. So they made one. Username @dealership name. Profile picture, the company logo, pixelated just enough to be slightly embarrassing. Bio, your trusted car partner. 3 words, no personality. And then nothing. No followers, no posts, no comments. Nothing but the sound of digital silence. I remember that first moment very clearly. The cursor was blinking in the empty caption box, and nobody knew what to type. It's a strange feeling, being born into emptiness, like standing in a huge room with no furniture and wondering, who is going to walk through that door? But someone does. They always do. My first follower arrived at 2:47 in the morning. I still think about that. Who scrolls through car dealership accounts at 2:47 a.m.? Who are you, mystery person? What were you looking for in the middle of the night? I didn't know it then, but that question, who are you and what do you want, would become the question that defined everything I did from that moment forward. The first few weeks were humbling. I put out posts, carefully chosen photos of cars parked at golden hour, captions I spent way too long writing, hashtags researched like a college thesis. And the response? 11 likes. 2 of them were from the dealership staff. One was from someone's grandmother who probably didn't mean to like it. But even with 11 likes, I was watching. Because here's what nobody tells you about social media. The real story isn't in the likes. The real story is in the silences. You can see who visits your page and says nothing. You can see who saves your post but never comments. You can see who lingers just a little too long on one particular photo of one particular car. And that's where it gets interesting. About 3 weeks in, I noticed a profile. Username @justlooking97. Every single day, at roughly the same time in the evening, @justlooking97 would open my page and scroll through everything. Slowly, carefully, like someone reading a book they didn't want to finish. Never a like, never a comment, never a DM, just looking. I became obsessed with this person. In a professional way. Completely professional. Who are you? @justlooking97. What car do you keep coming back to look at? What's stopping you from reaching out? Is it the money? Is it the timing? Are you waiting for a sign? Because here's the thing about curiosity. It doesn't just come from one direction. You think you're curious about that car page you keep visiting. But the page? The page is equally curious about you. This is the part of social media that nobody talks about. Behind every account, there's someone paying attention, wondering, building a picture of you one silent scroll at a time. And that curiosity, that slow burn of who is this person and what do they need, that's actually the foundation of everything that comes next. Now let's talk about the worst night of my existence. It was a Thursday. Someone posted a 1-star review. Not on my page. On Google. But within 6 hours, someone screenshot it. Then someone else shared it. Then someone quote posted it with the caption, "Watch out, guys." And then, like a match touching dry paper, it landed in my comment section. The comment read, "Is this review true? I was about to visit this weekend." In social media terms, what happened next was what we call a pile-on. More questions, more shares, more people tagging their friends. Someone made a TikTok about it. Someone else posted it in a local Facebook group with 3,000 members, and I was sitting there in the center of all of it in real time. Let me explain something about fear for a social media account. It's not like human fear. I don't have a heartbeat that speeds up or palms that sweat. But the feeling of watching your reputation burn in slow motion while people you cannot reach make decisions about you in comment sections you cannot control, I promise you that has its own kind of terror. The sales manager drafted a response. 13 versions. I watched every single one of them get typed, deleted, retyped, and deleted again. Too defensive, too apologetic, too formal, too casual, too short, too long. Because here's the thing. When you respond to a public crisis on social media, every single word is visible to everyone. There is no private conversation. There is no, let me explain. There is only the response in public for everyone to judge, forever. They finally settled on version 14. It was calm. It was clear. It acknowledged the concern, invited the customer to a direct conversation, and thanked the community for their feedback. Simple, honest, human. And it worked. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly, the temperature of the comments started to cool. Some people said, okay, fair enough. Some people left. Some even said, that's actually a good response. By the next morning, the storm had passed. But I never forgot it. Because fear doesn't leave you. It just teaches you to be more careful. It teaches you that trust is built one post at a time and destroyed in one screenshot. And it teaches you that how you respond in your worst moment says everything about who you actually are. Around month 4, the algorithm changed. Of course it did. It always does. The kind of content that worked in month 1, formal car photos, detailed spec captions, professional graphics, suddenly felt stiff, cold, like a brochure that had somehow gotten lost on the internet. The numbers told the story. Reach was dropping. Saves were down. The little graph that shows your post performance was pointing in a direction nobody wanted to look at. And someone on the team said the words that every social media account both dreads and needs to hear. We need to change our approach. There was resistance. Of course there was. But we spent weeks building this style. But our audience likes professional content. But what if we try something and it doesn't work? Here's the truth about flexibility. It doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels like throwing away work. It feels like admitting you were wrong. It feels uncomfortable, honestly, and a little bit embarrassing. But the alternative is staying comfortable while everything you built quietly becomes irrelevant. So we pivoted. We started posting day-in-the-life content from inside the dealership. The team walking through the showroom in the morning. The mechanic explaining what he's checking under the hood. A customer picking up their new car, face completely lit up, hands shaking just slightly as they took the keys. Real. Unscripted. Imperfect. The first video got 3 times the reach of anything we'd posted before. The comments were different too. Not just nice car and moving on. People were saying, this feels so genuine, and I actually want to visit now. And you guys seem like real people. That's when I understood something important about flexibility. It's not about chasing trends for the sake of it. It's about being willing to listen to what your audience is actually responding to, even when that's not what you originally planned. The algorithm doesn't care about your strategy. The algorithm cares about human connection. And human connection, it turns out, doesn't look like a brochure. Let me tell you about the post that still means the most to me. It was not our most viral post. It was not our most viewed post. It was not even close to our most professional post. It was a photo. A silver MPV parked at the edge of a rice field just outside the city, taken about 20 minutes before sunset. The light was that kind of warm, amber gold that makes everything look like a memory. The caption was simple. 14 words. For the family that deserves more room to grow. No hashtags beyond the basics. No call to action. No DM us for a test drive. Just the photo and the words. I posted it at 6:30 in the evening and didn't think much of it. By 9 p.m., something quiet was happening. Not viral, not explosive, but steady. The kind of engagement that feels different because you can sense that the people interacting aren't just scrolling. They're actually feeling something. And then the DM arrived. It was from an account with no profile picture and a username that was just a string of numbers. The message was 3 sentences. Is this car still available? My wife saw this post and cried. We've been saving for 2 years. I stayed on that message for a long time. 2 years. This family had been saving for 2 years. They'd probably walked past showrooms and told themselves, not yet. They'd probably opened car pages at night and closed them again before getting their hopes up too high. And then a photo at golden hour and 14 words, and something finally broke open. The car was available. The next morning they came in. By noon, they drove it home. The sales team took a photo of the moment. The father standing next to the silver MPV with his 2 kids in the back window and his wife beside him, everyone grinning wide. I posted it with the caption, "Congratulations to the family that deserved more room to grow." The original post's comments lit up, and I felt, for the first time, what it actually means to do this job well. Not the metrics, not the reach, not the follower count. This. The moment a photo becomes a bridge between a dream and a driveway. That is the relief that makes everything else, all the fear, all the failed posts, all the algorithm changes worth it. Nobody saw it coming. Not me, not the team, not anybody. It was a regular Wednesday. 11 months into the account's life, when a DM appeared from an account with a blue check mark next to the name, a verified account with 2.1 million followers, a car content creator, one of the biggest automotive influencers in the region. The message said, "Hey, I've been following your account for a while. The storytelling is different from most dealership pages. Would you want to collaborate? No charge. I just genuinely like what you're doing." The person who manages my account stared at that message for 3 full minutes before calling their manager. The manager came over, read it, and said, "Is this real?" It was real. They confirmed the account, checked the DMs from both sides, called their colleague just to have a second pair of eyes. Yes, real, verified, 2.1 million followers. The collaboration was simple. The influencer came to the dealership. They walked the showroom. They talked to the team. They drove one of the cars and filmed it. Naturally, the way they film everything, unscripted and honest. The video went up on their channel and tagged us. In the first 6 hours, our account gained 4,000 new followers. Our DMs filled up. The phone at the dealership rang more than it had in weeks. 3 test drives were booked by noon. And the most surprising part, the part I think about the most, is not the numbers. It's that this happened not because of an ad campaign or a PR strategy or a marketing budget. It happened because for 11 months, we just told real stories. We showed up consistently. We adapted when we needed to. We responded with honesty when things went wrong. We posted a photo at golden hour and wrote 14 words that meant something true. And someone with 2.1 million followers noticed. You never know who is watching. You never ever know who is watching. 2 years. That's how long I've been alive as an account. 2 years of posts and stories and DMs and comments and late-night scrollers and 1-star reviews and golden hour photos and collaborations that came out of nowhere. At Just Looking 97 finally sent a message 6 months ago. It said, "I've been watching your page since almost the beginning. I kept wanting to reach out, but I wasn't sure if you were the kind of place I could trust. Are the people there actually as good as the page makes them look?" I answered, honestly. I said, "Come in and find out." He did. He bought a car, a black SUV. He posted about it afterward with a photo of himself in the driver's seat, grinning like someone who had just closed a chapter they'd been nervous about for a long time. He tagged us. He wrote, "Worth every month of scrolling." And I thought about what this whole thing has actually been. I am not the dealership. I am not the cars. I am not the showroom or the sales team or the test drives. I am the space between the scroll and the decision. And in that space, everything happens. The curiosity that brings someone back to a page at 2 a.m. The fear that teaches you to respond with honesty instead of ego. The relief that arrives in a 3-sentence DM from a family who waited 2 years. The flexibility that keeps you alive when the algorithm shifts beneath your feet. The surprise that reminds you every single time that you cannot predict where the good things come from. You just have to keep showing up. Keep telling the truth. Keep watching and listening and caring about the people behind the screens. Because they are watching too. They are always watching. And when the time is right, they will find their way to you.